Happy Thursday, everybody. Instead of doing a Saturday video this week, we're gonna do a Thursday video. We got a little something special today. At least I think it is. We were able to rescue, save, whatever you want to call it, this 85 Chevrolet K10. It's four-wheel drive. It was a 305 truck. It's now a 350 700 R4 208 truck. Somebody changed the 305 out. Probably gave up a long time ago. Got the typical Kansas crustiness, but it was used as a farm truck. I like it when we get these because sometimes they have paperwork in the box all the way to initial ownership, and this one was the early 90s, which is really cool. And then when I do that, not that I'm a stalker, but I like to see if those people are still around or alive, so I check Facebook and Google. And unfortunately, this gentleman passed away in 2018. And I believe it was probably part of an estate farm sale. And then it ended up where we got it at. But you can see he was definitely in and out quite a bit. But overall, it's in pretty decent shape. You know, you can see where the armrest got worn away by the arm, and headliner material is long gone, but the headliner board's still there. But I tell you, I've seen them a lot worse interior wise. So this thing was somewhat taken care of. Sorry about the wind and the background noise. Typically Saturday mornings are quieter. However, I'm gonna run this on a Thursday. But so this had a lot of junk in it. Junk by me, I mean like junk. But behind the seat were these shaps, leather shaps. And he was a farmer, but he also had horses, probably as pets, but also as workhorses, because he also had cattle. So ironically, when I read the obituary, this gentleman had several children, and one of them lives here in town in Manhattan. So I just Facebook messaged the guy and said, hey, did your dad have a red and tan 85? And he said yes. He's like, my brother can tell you all about the drivetrain. And I said, well, that's not why I'm messaging you. I said, I found a pair of leather shaps that have been obviously worn quite a bit, but still in decent shape. I said, if they're your father's, would you like to have them? And he said, absolutely. So he's gonna come by today and grab these, which is one of the reasons I'm running this video today. But, so I thought that was pretty cool. You know, we do find a lot of stuff in these trucks, whether it be something like that one on the trailer or you know, any of them. And it's cool because, you know, if this gentleman bought this, say, I think one of the insurance cards said 92. Well, this is an 85, so it was only 7 years old. It was still a really good used truck. And then he just kept it all these years until 2018 when he passed away. So these were, yes, they were nice trucks, but at the same time, they were bought and used for, you know, basically one thing only, and that was just to work. And which is what this one did. Now, I don't think the grill probably happened in his presence. I think it happened getting moved around the yard that it came from. That one obviously did because it ran into some barbed wire. You can see that's rusty. But had to put a spare on it. The other tire would not hold air. But door's a little dented up, but check out these doors. And the cab floor looks the same way. So you can see, because of these running boards, there is a little bit of rust in the rocker, or excuse me, the cab corner. But the rockers are still nice. The floors are still nice. This truck was pretty well equipped. Just your basic Silverado of the 80s. But it does have 373s, front and rear. No key, and the tilt column's loose. We're gonna fix that. My brother rebuilds them for me. Does a great job. But you know, these are the trucks that I grew up on when I was able to get a little bit extra money and buy something a little bit nicer. This is what I bought. Was a truck like this, a blue one though. But we did come across some. They got some damage in them, but they're rust free. Rather deal with dents than rust any day. But anyway, thought I would make a quick little video, and we'll get some of this property back to the gentleman's son. Nobody probably, I can't believe they were still back there. Nobody must have looked behind the seat, but the bed's pretty much gone. But the most important thing, the cab is very minimal. Both sides are like this on the cab corners, but the rockers are still good. And underneath looks really nice too. Wouldn't take much to get this one going. And in fact, we might. I've got to do something with that steering column. I typically have extras, but I don't have any extras of this 84 and up tilt column right now. But I read his obituary, and he was quite the established gentleman. He was a Mexican descendant and just built a life for himself. And it was a pretty interesting, pretty awesome story. But anyway, wouldn't take much to get that one going. Somebody find a bed. We had a red bed that would have been perfect on this, and paint the bottom, and we would have really dressed this truck up. But we just delivered, if you remember the last video, it sat right here in front of this short bed, the tan one that was, it made this truck look rust free. And a gentleman's going to use the drivetrain and put his two-wheel drive on the four-wheel drive. So it sat right here, and then this one sold. A 16-year-old kid bought this. He gave me a $100 deposit, and when we were messaging back and forth, and I asked him, sometimes I can tell with just the messaging. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 16. So I knocked a couple $100 off and said, I'll bring it out to you. Because he didn't have a way to get it. He's only 5 miles from here, so we'll get it delivered to him. Always like to pass the truck hobby on, to truck deal on to, it's not a hobby for me, but for other people it is. Pass it on, and he will make this truck. Him and his buddy showed up, and within a weekend they'll have this one going. It won't take much at all. Some fresh gas, a fuel pump, a little tune up, and it'll be driving. So I went ahead and loaded it when I got back first thing this morning, and it'll be good to go. So anyway, that's what we got going on. My boy Braden and I went and got that one yesterday, which would be Wednesday. Got rid of one came in, and getting rid of another one. So four-wheel drives are hot. I can't even keep them. They just go out as fast as they come in, which is great. But we're still working on the Spirit of 76. If you watch my posts on Facebook, we got all the fuel wiring all hooked up, so both tanks work on the switch for the Dakota Digital. Dakota Digital is all now secured in there. You can see it does the sweep there, and it's on the right tank, which should be a quarter, and that's what it has. So one thing with the Dakota Digital is that it took me a good day of reading forums, and I actually called Dakota Digital to make sure I was doing it right. It's fairly simple once you understand, but with Dakota Digital, you have to actually shut it off, flip your switch, and then it'll give you the reading on the other tank, which I believe it's like a little under a quarter. Yeah, right there. It's like 1/8 of a tank. So, which is not a big deal. It's just one of the things that with the Dakota Digital. So everything's programmed or calibrated except for the speed, but I can't do that until we drive it, which is getting close. So pretty cool, pretty exciting. You can see all the LED. I've actually put a couple extra LEDs underneath. Now that runs, that's the factory wiring, but I added, American Auto Wire comes with a couple extras. So I actually added those, and then I just put LED bulbs in place of the regular bulbs that are in there. That way it brightens it up a little bit with this dark carpet. You know, it is kind of dark in here, and then you have the LED cargo light there. So, or interior light, excuse me, dome light. Yeah, we're slowly but surely going together. If anybody's ever done wiring, they fully understand it's tedious. There's right way and wrong way to go about it, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, everything was put up in looms and holders and everything like that. So use the factory switch. That is a just a LMC valve, which is basically what I replaced it with at the OEM. They look exactly the same. The later models were a little bit more complicated, but that one, just one wire going in, put your fuel lines in, and it switches back and forth to the cinders. So what else? Oh, we are rebuilding. So we've got our box all painted. That's a little bit shinier than I wanted. However, when I started taking it apart, it was actually from the factory looked like that. So in places that, you know, dirt and debris and the elements couldn't get to. So once we get it all together, it'll look nice. There's the blower motor. That's a brand new blower motor that was in another truck, and instead of spending the money for a brand new one, we're just going to use that one. And then this is an OEM evap core. That's brand new, and then we'll start piecing it together and get the interior done. Box, that's got to go back together too. Looks like a mess now, but a couple hours time we'll have it back together. Get the heater hoses on, because I don't want to start it up without antifreeze. So we'll get the heater hoses on, and we'll fire it up. Make sure all the fluids are good. Oh well, I gotta route my plug wires nicely. But anyway, in due time. But and then it can go back to norm to get the bed put on. A little cut and buff. We'll get it back, get all the trim on, and be good to go. So anyway, this is our Saturday morning video on a beautiful Thursday morning. But I thought it was pretty cool that we were able to find something cool and get it back to the family. If that was my dad's, I'd probably hang him up, something like that. But anyway, just goes to show you, you never know when you're finding these trucks. You know, this was somebody else's life at one time. So pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Happy Thursday, and we will see you on the next one.